Our next competitor is Michelle Kramer. Michelle is a doctoral student in cognitive neuroscience. Michelle's presentation is entitled Context Matters: How Previous Events Influence Airport Baggage Screening Success.
Airport security. You probably all have experience with it, or at least know about it. But what does this have to do with cognitive neuroscience? Well, airport baggage screening is one of several professions that involves visual search, the process of looking for target items among distractors. Think this airport security officer looking through bags for prohibited items, or a radiologist looking for tumors, a lifeguard looking for distressed swimmers. Unfortunately, as these headlines suggest, while the people are good at their jobs, they're not perfect. And that's where my research comes in. I want to know what happens in the brain that leads people doing search to make mistakes, and specifically how information from previous searches influences performance. The idea is that most people in line at the airport have no relation to each other, and no influence on the likelihood that the next person in line has a threat in their bag. But my research suggests that what a screener sees in previous bags might directly influence their success finding a threat in the next bag. But more than just show this general effect of learning, what I've done is fit it to a specific equation. And the equation is actually a really simple one, the binomial z-test. So the z-test is a common statistical test, and actually what you would use if you wanted to determine if a coin was biased to flip, say, tails more often than heads. And there's a few things to consider, right? 4 tails out of 5 flips is going to be stronger evidence of a biased coin than 3 out of 5, because the percentage of tails is higher. But at the same time, 40 tails out of 50 flips is going to be even stronger evidence than 4 out of 5 because the number of flips is greater. And the z-test takes both this percentage and the number of flips and turns them into one number that indicates the likelihood that this coin is flipping tails more than 50% of the time. Now, bringing this back to baggage screening, instead of heads or tails, I'm interested in whether or not a bag contains a threat. And I've used a massive data set of billions of instances of search from a mobile app. And what I've found is that people unconsciously evaluate evidence from these prior events in the same way as this coin flipping example, where the stronger the evidence for threats, the better they do at finding another threat. And this relationship is really strong. So if 0 represents no relationship between previous evidence and current performance, and 1 represents a perfect relationship, this is almost perfect at 0.955. And the same logic applies across other aspects of search as well. So not only whether or not a target appeared, but what was that target that appeared. So why is this useful? Well, some baggage screeners might go their entire careers without ever seeing a real threat. But we can use this equation to determine the best frequency to project fake targets for them to look for. And by doing this, we can optimize performance by reducing these mistakes and in turn improve air travel safety. Thank you.